Let us see about the data types directly from the MySQL documentation. So first we are going to talk about the numeric data types. If you have any numbers, decimals, integers, float, then we take about the numeric data types. Then you have a date and time data types, string data types. These are mostly used data types. So let us explore in detail about the numeric data type. So let me open that in a new tab. Yeah, so these are the 7 sub points inside a numeric data types. So you can see here the data types includes the exact numeric data. It can be an integer, small int, decimal, and numeric. So the other numeric data types can be float, real, double, and precision. Let me open about the integer types, the exact values. So actually there are many types of an ints, not only int. So we have a tiny int, we have a small int, medium int, integer, and big int. So generally we take int for all, but there is a lot of difference there. If you look about the storage bytes, so every data type you are taking that will have a storage. So if you are taking a tiny int, it will assign only 1 byte. If you are taking a big int, it will assign 8 byte for that every record. So if you are taking tiny int, you can take the values from -128 to 127 positive. So you can take maximum value of 255 only, like adding these two numbers. You cannot take numbers which are higher than these two ranges. So when it comes to an integer, you can see this value, and when you talk about the big int, you can see this value here. So 2 raised to 63 and minus 2 raised to 63 plus 2 raised to 63 and minus 1 will be the maximum values. So most of the time we'll be using an integer only. So let us talk about the fixed points. That is the next fixed point, and the next is your floating point data type. So here we talk about decimal. So when you are giving a decimal, that is 5 comma 2, we give two parameters inside this. So in an example, 5 is a precision and 2 is a scale. Yeah, so 5 comma 2 will be able to store any value which is having a 5 digits, म्हणजे 5 digits असणार. You have 5 digits, and in that there will be two decimals places. You can see two decimal places and total 5 digits. So that is about the decimal. Then you have a floating point types, that is float and double. You can open this. So we have a float with a single parameter, and we have a float with a double parameters also. Like you can take this m as a digits in total, m digits in total, and d digits may be after the decimal point. So after decimal point, how many digits you want, 1 2 3 4 so on. So you can put those many values here after the d, that is second parameter. So it will give you that many points. So that was about all about numeric. So let me show you a quick recap what we have done in numeric. So we have seen about int. So in int there are 4 types: tiny int, small int, and big int. And then we have seen about the decimal. In decimal it takes two parameters. First is precision. Okay, let me take an example, 5 comma 2. So it will give you 5 digits and 2 decimals. Then we have a float and double. So all related to the integer data types or a numeric data types. Let us go with the next data type, that is your string data type, and then we'll come to date and time data type. So let me open the string data type. So the string data types are char, varchar, binary varchar, blob, text, enum, and set. But most of the time we'll be using char and varchar only. So let me open this point here. So let us see about what is the difference between char and varchar data type. So if I, for example, if I take varchar, If I take var and char, so let me take it in this way, char and var. Okay, if I take suppose 10 year, 10 year, and if I start writing a name, for example, if I write employee code, something like that, obviously it takes only 10 characters because I'm writing 10 year. Similar to char, varchar is also working in the same way. It also takes only 10 characters if I write here. But the difference between these two is when you are writing character as 10, it is the difference is all about the storage. It will take all 10 bytes or 10 bytes here. But when you are talking about varchar, it will not take all 10. It all depends on what value you are assigning. Okay, for example, here if I take value a, then also the storage will be like whatever storage it is for 10. Let us assume that the storage for 10 is your 10 bytes. I'm just giving an assumption. If you are giving a single value also, it will store as a 10 bytes only. If you are giving 10 characters also, it will take 10 bytes only. But in varchar, if you are taking suppose only one letter, if you are taking only one letter, then it will take the space or the storage will be only 1 byte. This is just for an example, but this will take care of taking only 1 byte. And if you have 10 characters, for example, like this, and then now it will take 10 bytes. Or if you are taking only 2 characters, then it will take you, the storage will be of only 2 characters here. So that is the basic difference between char and varchar. So in this table, you will clearly understand like how the difference between the char and the varchar gives. Suppose if you are taking a character as 4, and if you are taking only one space here, it will assign all 4 bytes, but whereas in varchar it will assign only 1 byte. Suppose if you are writing AB, so it will take only AB and other 2 spaces, still the storage is of 4 bytes, but whereas in varchar it will take only up to 3 bytes here. So if you are writing A, B, C, D, it will take 4 bytes here, but here it will take your 5 bytes. And if you are writing more values here, so it will take only 4 bytes, and here it is taking 5 bytes. So now you might be thinking like what happens if there is only the difference between only 1 or 2 bytes. So just imagine if you are dealing with 1 lakh employees, 10 lakh employees, and you are like getting records for their email address where you are using a char and varchar, and you can just imagine how much storage you can save by using this varchar data type. Let us go to the next data type, that is your date and time data type. Let me open this. First is date and time data type syntax, and then we have date time and timestamp. So most of the time we'll be using these two. So let me show you the syntax and let me show you the types also of date and time. Let us see about the date and time data type syntax. So in this link, I'll be sharing you this link if you want. So the data type is used the value with the date part but no time part. So I'm just talking about the date data type or date type. So always MySQL displays the date in this format like y, that is full year, and then month, and then date, year, month, date format. When you are talking about date and time, so it will display or it will display the values like year, month, day, and hour, minute, and second. This is your time. Yeah. So when you are talking about the timestamp, so timestamp like look similar to the date time only, but it combines the both date and your time, both, and displays the value in both ways. You can see the example here. This is year, month, day, and the year, sorry, and the time. So these are the most commonly used data types in MySQL: date time, and the timestamp. So let us see the syntax here. Yeah, you can see the syntax here. If I'm writing create table T1, so T1 will take care of creating a table. T is your first column, DT is your second column, TS is your third column, time is your time data type, date and time is your date time data type, timestamp is your timestamp data type. So when you run this, you will be getting a 3 columns with our respected values. I hope you understood the basics of MySQL data types. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Keep learning.